All right, Shalom, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Awar making a video to edify the sheep, to feed the lambs, to feed the sheep. Okay, so Shalom to the Akim and the Akwathim that will be watching this video. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brakatham, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I was watching this video, seeing titled Crucified with Yahweh Shai 2,000 years ago, in brackets heavy. Okay, and it made me think about while the brother was speaking and teaching, it made me think of the crucifixion in general, like what it entails, what happens during a crucifixion, because for the most part they described what happened, how he got nailed to the cross. They had him drink the wine. He got stabbed with spears. He got whipped. People mocked him, laughed at him, and things of that nature. But I wanted to go into it in research, because we have the internet. People ain't using the internet to research nowadays. Like you be reading something and you don't know the word, you could just literally go on your phone and just Google up the word real quick without having to have a physical dictionary in your hand. A lot of people ain't really using the internet to research. That's why people are so ignorant in these last days. Everyone's just using things to be distracted and entertain themselves. Okay, and well, whatever. That's just not really off topic, but you know what I mean. But so I went into it a little bit, and let's go into it a little bit. Let me get some scriptures and read about this crucifixion, right? And it says, yeah, the title of this article is Yahushua wasn't the only man to be crucified. Here's the history behind this brutal practice. Well, obviously he wasn't the first man. If you read the scriptures, you see that two other men got crucified along with him, right? And you could just start around reading here. It reads, so okay. Crucifixion most likely began with the Assyrians and Babylonians, and it was also practiced systematically by the Persians in the 6th century BC, according to 2003 report in South African Medical Journal. At this time, the victims were usually tied, feet dangling to a tree or post. Crosses weren't used until Roman times, according to the report. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much if it was used by the Assyrians and Babylonians, but you know, every society had a ancient form of, or culture and nation had a form of punishing people, which the Israelites, ours was to stone people to death, or put them to death in any way you see fit. A homosexual, it didn't say you have to stone him, or like a witch, say you have to burn her, right? Let me get that one real quick, actually. Okay, hold on. Man. Right. This is Salakia. Or was it the Levite's daughter? Man, yo, the Most High is not playing out here. I remember one of the scriptures that said you have to burn one of the Salakia. I just wanted to make sure. Man, can't find it, but I'll find it later. Okay, so anyways, go back on to reading this. You all already know that we had a form of punishment. When people today say, "Oh man, that's inhumane and you can't do that. That's crazy." Well, even in today's society, they still have a way of putting people to death. And not too recently, they used to what's it called? What's the word? They used to electrocute people. Now they just do more peaceful way where they give you a needle. Okay, let's keep on reading. For the next 500 years, the Romans perfected crucifixion until Constantine abolished it in the 4th century AD. No, we don't need to get that. However, given the crucifixion was seen as an extremely shameful way to die, Rome tended not to crucify its own citizens. Instead, slaves, disgraced soldiers, Christians, which at the time the Christians were the followers of Hamashiach, especially at that time, right? There's a precept for it, which is not commonly used, but I want to get it just so if anyone wants to write this down. And it's Acts 11 and 26. Let's pull it up real quick, so you know who those Christians were that they're crucifying. Which I'm sure later on, when people started to, after Constantine started to make it an open religion for people, right, to come in and do this Christianity madness, that other nations that were in Rome as well started to probably be persecuted and crucified. But mainly at this time, the main people that were crucifying were the Israelites, or Jews, anyways, that were being called Christians, which wasn't which wasn't something to be boasted about at the time. This is Acts 11:26. When he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. So the disciples were called Christians in Antioch, all right? So those are the Christians. You got foreigners, and in particular political activists often lost their lives in this way. And that's what you see as well. And look how it says political activist. Was Martin Luther King not a political activist who even though he was wrong in wanting us to intermingle with these Edomites and these heathen, he got put to death because he wasn't for that white supremacy, right? So it just goes to show you the similarities between Rome and America, the fourth beast, this is a fourth beast. We're still in the fourth beast. Right, we're just in the extension of it, representing the horns, which the main horn is the main great whore is that America. Right, the next paragraph, the practice became especially popular in the Roman occupied Holy Land in 4th BC. The Roman general Varus crucified 2,000 Jews, and there were mass crucifixions during the 1st century AD. According to the Roman Jewish historian Josephus. So we know that Josephus is a historical and a reliable source of historical information. Hamashiach was crucified on the pretext that he instigated rebellion against Rome, on a par with the Zealots and other political activists. The authors wrote in the report. And the crazy part about that was, I'll go to it real quick, is that he what's his name? Herod was willing to let him go. But it was the Israelites that didn't want Herod to let him go. Right, which goes to show you how wicked our people are. Right, where's it? Where is it, man? I didn't really highlight it, but and I didn't really prepare no presets. I just wanted to make a video real quick. See, look at this. Okay, here it is. All right, and it says, let's get some reading on here. This is Matthew 26 and verse 11. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now at the feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would, and they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you? Barabbas, who was an actual criminal, right? Or Yahushua, which is called Hamashiach. For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. See, the Edomite knew that these people, they know these people, they know Jake, they know our people, right? And they had no reason to really put him into to deliver him up to the Edomites. These people just they hate what we're doing on the street. We're calling out Esau for his wickedness. We're rebuking our people. And they hate it. Right? Because they love Esau. They love this world. Okay, verse 19, when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. Man, that's crazy. We gotta read that again. Yeah, there's Matthew 26, verse 19, right? Or are we verse 27? 27, Salakia. So chapter 27, verse 19, and when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. Oh man. She said, Don't do nothing to this just man. She's suffering because of this. Most I sent her dreams and nightmares. All right, but the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. So they wanted a criminal instead of someone who didn't physically do them no harm. Right? They would rather have somebody who's out committing crimes and felonies than to release somebody who's just and did the will of the Most High. So our people don't care. They really don't care. They're fully set on doing mischief and wickedness. Right? The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Yahushua that is called Hamashiach? They all say unto him, Let him be crucified. See, our people are the main ones that wanted to be crucified. Right? You don't see, it's usually our people are the ones coming up against us the most. Right? Esau usually walks off or scoffs when they get 20 feet away, but Jake is the one who wants to come up to you and fight you most of the time. Right? And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. They didn't even want to try and justify their accusations on him. They just said, No, just crucify him. We don't care. Right? When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified. And what you read in here is that Salakia. And another point I want to make is that his blood's going to be upon us, our children. So our forefathers didn't really care, right? They didn't care, and now they're suffering today in the regeneration. They're suffering. They don't know why, right? Because you the ones who crucified him. The Most High is just. Right, Yahushua, when he comes back, he remembers everything that our people did to him. He's not gonna play with you niggas and you Latinos and you Native Americans. He's not gonna play with you niggas. All right, he knows what our people did. He remembers everything, so he's not gonna play with us when he comes back. You better get out. We have to work that we can get on his right hand side, so he doesn't come and slaughter us with the rest of these heathen. Right, and this is what you read in the next paragraph. It says, in Rome, people condemned to crucifixion were scourged beforehand, with the exception of women. And what scourge means to beat, right? Which I seen that they use either whips or sticks. So Yahushua was beaten beforehand, as this thing is saying, right? And as the scriptures says, right? With the exception of woman, Roman senators and soldiers, unless they had deserted. Right, during scourging, a person was stripped naked, tied to a post, and then flogged across the back, buttocks, and legs by Roman soldiers. This excessive whipping would weaken the victim, causing deep wounding, severe pain, and bleeding. Frequently, the victim fainted during the procedure, and sudden death was not uncommon. So this is what the things that this is why Yahushua was tripping out before he had to be delivered. And what's it mean to be a prophet? What's it mean to be a prophet? Yahushua knew all the things he was going to suffer beforehand, right? And the majority of the people didn't believe, right? People think prophets are being a prophet is some make believe concept. They have to, because they obviously don't believe. When we have the scriptures right here, and the Most High says in Amos, let me get that in Amos, right? Where is it? Amos is after Daniel, I believe. Daniel. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 8. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Most High Yahweh hath spoken, who can but prophesy? So we have all the prophecies written in this book. All we really have to do is prophesy. So that's what Most High is asking. Who can prophesy? The book's been written now. Who can but prophesy? You have every reason and right to be prophesying right now. And Yahushua was tripping out because he knew he was gonna have to suffer these things. It's one thing you get caught up, you just get caught up off guard. The people die in car crashes, and you don't know when you're gonna die. But Yahushua knew everything, and the Israelites, they know how some of them will be put to death in these last days. You know how some of them will die. All right, this is Mark chapter 9. All right, let me not get Mark. Okay, I don't know why. In Mark, I should have just got in Matthew. Okay, let me just get in Matthew. Okay, there it is. Yeah, okay, Matthew 26 and verse 39, verse 38. No, let me start at verse 36. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, he's praying to Yahweh, right? If it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Because Yahushua didn't really want to go through it, right? He's saying, if there's another way for me to save these people, right, to fulfill this will, let me not go through this crucifixion right now, right? And this is the Christians talking about they're the same people. This doesn't make any sense, because Yahushua is saying he had his own will. Well, he said, Yahushua even said of his own, he came not to do his own will, but the Father's will. So he's saying he wasn't even here to do what he wanted to do. Right? Let me get that real quick. This is crazy, man. These guys talking about they're the same people. What kind of madness they trying to... This is what happens when you let the devil come and take your book and try and teach it to you. Right? This is John chapter 6, verse 38. For I came down from heaven not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. Talking about they're the same people when he's saying that he was sent to do a will of someone else that sent him. But they're the same people. My goodness. And he cometh in, so Yahushua prayed for him to not have to go through these things, which was prophesied that he would have to. Right? But nevertheless, during the time it came for it to happen, he said, Most High, if there's another way to do this, can we do it another way? Is what he's saying, right? Nevertheless, let not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Right? Yeah, right, and then keep reading. And watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. Right? And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. Right? So the Most High didn't answer him nothing. The Most High didn't say nothing. Right? And on top of that, right, it was a prophecy. It was prophesied that he was gonna have to do it. So ultimately, there was nothing he could do to escape it, because the Most High's will came to pass. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 10. Verse 9, and he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Talking about Yahushua. Right? What did Pilate's wife say? This just man. Pilate said, this man is innocent. Everybody knew he was innocent, but our people didn't care. They just wanted to kill him. Right? Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand. Okay, so it pleased the Most High. The Most High he's thinking, Yahushua is tripping, but Most High was pleased. He wasn't going to answer him nothing, because he really wanted to see him go through that, which is scary, because that is crazy, man. You're talking about the Most High here. And the Most High said, if he wants you dead, who can deliver you out of his hands, right? So let's keep going back on this crucifixion. Was it right? They scourged him, right? They stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe, and when they had and was I finished reading this? Okay, come. So he's being delivered to be crucified, and when they, verse 29, and when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews, which he is the King of the Jews. He's going to rule over the whole earth. Right, but these guys are mocking you. Watch when he comes back, eh? Verse 30, and they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And meanwhile, keep in mind, we just read in Isaiah, the Most High said it pleased him to put him through this grief. And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off from him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. Right? Let's jump to verse 34. They gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation, written, This is Yahushua, the King of the Jews. Then were there 2 thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads and saying that thou destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days. Save thyself, if thou be the Son of the Most High, come down from the cross. Right? So all this happened. This was, I guess, was a brief description, right? But going back to this article, it's talking about what would usually happen to those people who got crucified, right? It said some people would die beforehand. Okay, so this crucifixion was no joke. This is why Yahushua was like, damn, I'm gonna have to do this, man. Holy. The victim was then usually taunted, then forced to carry the patibulum, the crossbar of a cross, tied across his shoulders to the plate of execution. Their cruelty didn't stop there. Sometimes the Roman soldiers would hurt the victim further, cutting off a body part such as the tongue or blinding him. In another heinous turn, Josephus reported how soldiers under Antiochus was IV. Is that 4? Is that 4? Antiochus 4th? I'll look it up. I'll look it up later. The Hellenistic Greek king of the Seleucid Empire would have the victim strangled child hung around his neck. Holy, my God! And we read it. You read in the Maccabees how these guys tortured the seven kids and the woman. So you know these Edomites, they're crazy. This is what they do. They got demons on them. Demons, all they want to do is practice these things and make man sit in the flesh. Okay, while the victims awaited death, soldiers would commonly divide up the victims' clothes among themselves. But deaths didn't always come quick. It took anywhere from 3 hours to 4 days to expire. The professors wrote, okay, sometimes the process was sped up by additional physical abuse from the Roman soldiers. Okay. And so then it goes to talk about some German researchers did some practices on people to not in the exact same fashion to the perfect to like them taking a nail and stabbing it through their body against a cross or anything, but you can read a little bit. It says German researchers tied volunteers by their wrists to a cross and then monitored their respiratory and cardiovascular activity, cardio meaning with your heart. In the 1960s, within 6 minutes, the volunteers had trouble breathing, their pulse rates had doubled, and their blood pressure had plummeted. Okay, the experiment had to be stopped after about 30 minutes because of wrist pain. So damn, man, this was the things he went through was no joke. It was no joke. And some of us, some of the elect are gonna have to. We already know the servant's not greater than the master, so we know we're gonna have to suffer some things. Okay, but you know, there's some of us who's already been written of that will die. Let me get it. Like for example, this is Luke 11:49. Right, this is Yahushua speaking. And therefore also, this is Luke chapter 11 verse 49. Therefore also said the wisdom of the Most High, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute. Right, some, not all, but some of them, which is going to the Israelites you see on the street corners. Right? And the Most High sent them unto the children of Israel, right? That the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation. So the Most High is not playing with these Israelites in these last days. Why? When it seems everything seems chill right now, but the second that judgment comes, it's over. It's finished. Okay. So Revelation chapter 9 and let me get 6. Get two precepts. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. Right? And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So you got angels and the spirits of the Israelites in heaven complaining to the Most High, asking him, how much more longer do we have to wait for this righteous kingdom and for the judgment to come? And right robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little while, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So the Most High is waiting. Most High is a man of his word. Even if he wanted to change, let's say he wanted to change it now, he already wrote it down, so he wouldn't be true if everything didn't come to pass. Right? So maybe the Most High doesn't want to see us get, and the Most High does. He says we're precious in His sight. Right? But understand this, that once you okay, let's say you get tortured to death, right? It's only gonna be for a few moments. Maybe an hour tops, you get tortured to death. And imagine 1 hour to having that immortality, that never feeling tired, right? This is, Most I said they shall run. They that wait upon him shall run. Let me get that precept real quick. They that wait upon him shall run, and they shall never feel tired. All right, I think it's Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40 and verse 31. It says, but them that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So you're gonna have that energy, man. That energy, that spirit that the Most High has, and the angels do, to never feel tired. You'll have a body, but you're not gonna be running off of that physical flesh function. You're gonna be running off the spirit. All right. And it says, what is it? Let me get another precept. One day in the kingdom, in the kingdom of heaven. Wow. Well, Paul says that the suffering that we're gonna go through is nothing, is uncomparable unto what we're gonna get in the kingdom, right? So that little suffering is, you're gonna be like, man, Yahushua probably looking back on his crucifixion like, damn, what was I complaining about? He's still sitting on the right hand of the Most High till this day. Man, it's over 2,000 years old now. Chilling. He's chilling. Right? We can't imagine the things that the Most High has made out there. You know. Let me get another precept. I didn't want to make this video too long, but because I just wanted to go into the crucifixion, because I just wanted to look it up for myself and see what was really popping off there. Right, and educate myself a little bit, but the spirit jumped on me and let me make a video on it and talk about it. So let me highlight what I want to get out of it. It's Ecclesiasticus, the 43rd chapter. And it's region. Because we got to be thinking about the latter end of it. Yahushua was in that flesh. He wasn't really trying to go through that, but the latter end, he has the promises that Most High had given him. Okay, where is it? There it is. Okay, there's what I want. All right, so this is Sirach, chapter 43.